It's a general question to the panel. I was interested that there's, of course, a lot of emphasis on business skills. And it seems to me there's often somewhat an assumption that we should bring women in because they have more emotional intelligence, better business acumen or something like that. So I wonder what your opinions are on trying to encourage women specifically in technical roles, which is the kind of role I'm in myself. And I often find that when you have seemingly better gender balance in an organisation, often it's women in non-technical roles, which are obviously important. But I think there's a specific issue around technical aspects of IT and cyber. So I just wondered if you had a comment on that.
I'd just like to say I absolutely agree with you, and I certainly see that within my own company. We have loads and loads of people in client services, women in client services. We have a few women developers. We have one woman in our operations department, so women don't want to put on a pair of jeans and crawl around under desks plugging things in. Is my perspective on it anyway. So I think that is a real challenge and an area where we should be looking at diversity.
Wonderful. Cheryl?
I'm with you. I put on jeans. I crawled underneath. I installed networks. For me, I didn't let it stop me. And I think that's the key message. And that's the thing which we need to make sure that we do collaborate, that we don't let it stop. Yes, there will be meetings that you'll go to, that you will say exactly the golden nugget, which will get ignored by the men. And then 2 minutes later, someone will go, oh, and we should do ABC. And you think, oh, God, I just said that earlier. But we need to get over that. And the only way we get over that is to keep doing it and just to not let it worry us. Sitting round a table with men has never, ever worried me. Many a time I've been in the room, I've been the only female. Don't let it worry you. It is your capability. It's your ability that they have you there for. And if they accept you, if you become one of the boys, that is the greatest accolade that you can get when they're suddenly, oh, God, I forgot you were a girl. You just become one of them. You are one of the team. And we shouldn't let it be because we are male or female. You have that capability, and you are there, and you've earned that right.
Yeah. I was just going to say, look for a technical company. If you want to go down a tech route and concentrate on that, then make sure you go and choose quite a technical company and stay within the realm that you want to work in. If you can develop those business skills, then do that. But there are plenty of places that would literally welcome you with open arms, saying, oh my gosh, a woman, techie, fantastic, come here, we want you. They would literally embrace you. And the guys are really inclusive. From my experience of certainly building a pen testing company, they're great. You would be one of the guys, but equally you can be one of the girls too. So look for that type of company if that's the route that you want to go down, but you really will be welcomed in.
I was also a technical girl, crawl under the desk kind of girl. It was awesome. I think a very funny story about 5 years ago, about 10 years ago, sadly, gosh, I'm getting old, where I was an IT manager in a college in the University of Oxford, and a student came to my door and he looked around and he said, oh, sorry, I was looking for the IT manager. And I said, hello, that's me. And he went, but you're a woman. Hopefully that won't happen now, but it did happen then, and it was very funny. So pursue being a woman in IT because it makes them actually know who you are, which is fantastic because you can then wave and go, yes, I'm the woman in IT. You can come to me. I know everything there is about technical stuff. So I encourage it and stay focused in that area because there's lots and lots of jobs and places for you to go.
I think it's been really well answered by everybody. I'm just going to leave that.
Start the next
questions. Yeah.
But Steph, we're looking to you to encourage lots more so that you can answer the question for them.
The industry needs more people, so don't be too worried about what it is you have a passion for. Passion will keep you where you want to be. It'll set you on that sort of that chain of getting to wherever it is you feel happy. So.
Great.
Yeah.
Right. So I have a question about gender diversity, and so I'm from a technology audit team. So when we try to recruit, because we are driving a gender diversity agenda as well, so we try to recruit female candidates. However, when we look at the CV, majority of the applicants, they are male. So it's actually become very hard for us to actually, shortlist the female candidates. So what's your advice in terms of trying to maybe get into the pool of potential female candidates?
I'm not sure.
Am I not sure to go first? You go first.
One thing that we did try to do, and when I've been recruiting in the past, women traditionally want to fulfill every single thing on the job description. One thing we did explicitly say in the job description is that we want some of the credentials rather than the traditional job description of please have all of these credentials. We then ended up with lots more women applying. So it was a really little tiny sentence, but it made the difference between women applying and not applying. So simple things on like a job description or an advert, not specifically to women, but just by saying these are the things we would like or might consider, rather than you must have these set of credentials, was one thing we changed.
So I think the other thing as well, go and start plagiarising. Go and look at the EY website. We have 60-40 split for females in our auditing teams. Look at how they've taken their job descriptions, but also get out there and go to some of the areas where you know the girls will be. Go to the universities. Start looking at what it is they're looking for. We know, and gentlemen, sorry, we know that the blokes will come on and go, of course I can do that. Yes, I can abseil from the top of the Shard building. And the women will go, well, I've done a course, but I haven't actually gone from the top of the Shard building. So no, I'm not going to say I'm going to do that. So it's just, as Sarah said, changing some of those words slightly. Just getting, we talked about getting down to the grassroots with the youngsters. It's getting to the females as well. But yeah, take a look on the EY website. We have, job adverts there for auditors, and it's male and female. And we've worked really hard just to make sure those jobs do appeal to both genders.
Thanks. A couple of things that you can do is if you're working with a recruiter, you can request that you get 50% equal and make them do the work. Go through what you actually want and make sure that you're not purely selecting based on accreditations. Look at what the job involves and have that prioritized as opposed to the technical requirements. That's massively important. So really hone what you want them to do, the roles and responsibilities. And like Sarah said, really work on the language, and Cheryl as well.
Yeah. One thing I would probably do is if I only had 2 out of 10 that were female, I'd give them a phone call. And just find out a bit more about them and ask them about the process and how they felt about applying for the job and what you could do to maybe attract more girls too. Mm-hmm. Sometimes that works.
I've been a recruiter for 30 years because I'm very old. I'm passionate about diversity, especially gender. I've done lots of things about that. But the best thing I ever heard was from Chorus, who was British Steel out in the Netherlands, and they had a fantastic program which got women or young women at 9 to 16 in on a Saturday to come and see a blast furnace to see how coke, i.e. coke as in coal, got turned into a coke tin. So they made aluminium, and the day was run purely by women, all wearing lab coats. There were no of the hairy arse brigade shoveling coke and coal. It was just brilliant. It was run by women, for women. They had the pick of all women who graduated from school or college, and they were the #1 tech recruiter, tech company, voted in the Netherlands every year. But in the UK, as a parent, my daughter, brilliant in science, got 3 A stars, was steered to English. She fought against it and got to French. The question is there anything that the schools program can do? Can anybody think how we're going to get more women into IT, because it starts in secondary schools and women being steered to the wrong subjects of English, non-scientific subjects, and that's my problem in trying to get women into I'm trying to hire 100 individuals in this cyberspace. At the moment, the percentage is 10%.
Hey, hold on, I said 10 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, so
Help.
So Cybersecurity Challenge recognised this issue, and with Cabinet Office and Department of Education, they've launched a new GCSE in computer science that's coming out in September this year, and there's lots of cyber on it. So our schools programme manager has been through all of the examination board input. He's pulled them all out, and he is going to industry currently for resources that allow teachers to tick that piece of the cyber element off within the computer science GCSE, as well as actually doing some CPD modules for those teachers. You don't need to be technical to provide the platform to allow the kids to do it and to learn it, actually.
Fabulous.
Sorry, yeah.
Sorry, hold on. Sarah, do you want to say something on that, or? That's good. You've got it.
I just really wanted to say a few words about that, really following up on what you said, Steph. I think there's so much we need to do to help our schools advise the children. And I'm speaking as well as a parent. My daughter's doing her GCSEs in a month. And the school that she goes to, they've actually done a great job. They're a specialist school for science and technology, and they have vastly more girls and boys doing the STEM subjects at A-level. But still, the girls that are doing that, they all want to be vets. They want to be doctors. They want to be accountants. Nobody's talking to them about what the other options are that you can do with those subjects. And the schools don't know about it. So I think that's really an opportunity for improvement.
My daughter's just chosen her GCSE options, and she went from 6 down to 3. She could only take three extras. When I went to a parents' evening, the teachers asked her what she was going to choose, and she said art. She's really artistic, has got a scholarship to the school, history and computer science. When she said computer science, the 3 teachers who had asked her pulled a face, and one even leant forward to me and said, "I can't understand anyone doing that." And I said, literally that morning, I'd been presenting on gender diversity to a CISO summit. And I leant forward and I said, "Do you know what? I'm really the wrong person you said that to. I work in technology, specifically cyber. And I was, doing this morning." And I briefly explained to her in about 2 minutes. She got it and she said, "Will you come in and speak to the girls?" I never realized that. Now, when we have teachers like that, they were all older teachers. My daughter has a younger teacher. She teaches Latin, actually, but she looks really cool. And when my daughter was choosing her options, she actually said, "Do what you love, but if you are looking to do computer science, because they have changed it, which is better, it would be great, because technology is the future." But that is the challenge right now, but going forward it will get better because we've got younger teachers coming forward. The other thing that I would say is so much is being done. I wish the government would enforce the curriculum, because it's voluntary. I wish they would, and make it mandatory.
Yeah, they've done it at degree level. So some of the sponsors that we've worked with have brought the universities to a workshop who delivers computer science as a degree, and have said, please stop having cyber as this module that they can choose.
Yeah.
We need to make it mandatory. And that is actually happening now. It's rolling out because industry came together, GCHQ turned up, all the right people got in the room and begged those heads of computing and professors to do something to change the format for business. The business case was represented, and at that point there was some change, and that's really, those guidelines have been written. What the professors decide to do with it is another matter, but we're there, it's mandatory. So.
There's also, on my website, there's a whole load of resources for kids. So if you've got children who are passionate or interested, or people, then there's so much that is going on for teachers and for schools. The other thing, Steph, that you're doing is you're going into the schools. I don't know if I can talk about that or not, or if that is going to be announced later in terms of the going into about 400 to get access to 400 children, and we're going to speak to them.
GCHQ want, to run development days for girls. So they have 4 universities. We've provided some locations. Those universities go out to outreach, bring those girls into, and they run a development day, of which we are asking for girls who are nice, young in the industry, come and see me afterwards, to be vignette speakers, larger speakers, all that kind of stuff, to sort of engage with that. I think they're year 10, which is 14, 15-year-olds, to think about cyber as an industry. They will develop them over a day, then they run a competition, and the girls that have got through that competition will go to a finals in January of next year. Feb or Jan, I don't know. Jane probably knows more than me at this point. So, but yeah, there's lots of stuff going on. It's just that the industry isn't great about talking about it. So.
Can I just say, just beware, I have 3 daughters, all of whom went into science, and they said they didn't want to do anything to do with information security because their mum does it, so it's fine.
They'll change their minds, don't you worry, don't you worry.
That's good.
I guess the question I have is probably directed towards Cheryl. The reason being, I've always been very kind of surprised as to why that you've got a bit of a discrepancy between management consultancies such as EY, who are very diverse. They recruit foreigners, they recruit more women, put them in partnering roles, etc., etc. And then I've kind of gone over the fence into the normal BAU world, working for a company. And all of a sudden, you really see the gender gaps. You really see, the C-suite, male, mostly men, et cetera, And I wondered whether, if there was any intention for EY and Deloitte and the like to actually promote that via all of the auditing, all of the mentoring, all of the the consultancy they deliver across all industries, across all everywhere really.
So that's a really good point, and I think we sometimes swing the pendulum too far as well. So I took a holiday in Dublin over the weekend, and I was looking at this advert for Irish Rail, and I said to my husband, I said, "What's wrong with that advert?" He went, "Well, nothing." I said, "No. What's wrong with it?" Nothing. Every single person in that advert was a female. There wasn't a single bloke on the train. So either it was depicted that it was a lunchtime train and we were all going to the shops, or it was a morning train and the blokes had just slept in. Whatever it wasn't inclusive. It would be great if the government or someone of the regulators said, you must go in and audit, and it has to be 60-40, and there has to be X amount of this and Y amount of that. That isn't going to work. But the challenges are there. We've seen the government challenge people. We've seen the government challenge the number of women in boards, and it will come. The statistics that I put up here about being more productive, your BAU environment that you're in, they will start to realise that their competition are becoming more productive. And they will start to include, more women and more areas. The banking world is a really good example. We still look around in the banking world. There are far few women in major places in that banking world, whether it be business areas, whether it be the technology areas, but it's slowly changing. And they are recognising that their customers need to look at different areas. So it will be a slow change. We won't get to some of the statistics that we set ourselves as goals of women and changing that gender diversity and that parity, but it will go. And you are a great voice and a great advocate in your organisation. Just simply, did you know you could be 7% more efficient? Did you know you might be able to attract more people? Did you know what we might get if we have someone else in? Bring some speakers in. Do some lunchtime sessions. Do some lunch and learn sessions with some of your colleagues about why it's so important in organisations like EY and why we believe that we need to reflect what our clients are doing as well and what we're seeing out there and how it's changed our business.
I have my book, Women in Cybersecurity. It's being funded by a Kickstarter project. The Kickstarter project finishes tomorrow. The book, if you are interested in helping, please either link up with me and I'll direct you to the link, but it ends at about 7 o'clock tomorrow night. You can get the book later on in the year, but please just go to it. And if you believe, as we all do, go and pledge. Thanks. Thank you.
Great. Okay. Super. All right. Now,